All right, mega fight tonight, super fight, Spence versus Crawford, and I need to get my prediction in so I can brag about it tomorrow. Smart money's got to be in Crawford, but I am officially picking Spence to win the fight. Why should the smart money be in Crawford? Well, first, it's inactivity. Spence has not fought since April of 2022. 16 months out of the ring. That is no way to keep your sword sharp, especially when you're going against such top level opposition. And Crawford fought in December. So, I mean, he should be the sharper guy just in terms of inactivity. So that's one advantage to Crawford. Now, we've seen Spence take long layoffs before. He did a year off before he fought Garcia, came back, smashed him. Took a year off before he fought Mikey Garcia, came back and smashed him. And had a year off before he fought Ugas, came back and, and smashed him. But still, that's not good. And you're not going against a flat-footed, straight-line fighter like Ugas tonight. So that's an advantage for Crawford. They say that Spence is the bigger man, and this is supposedly an advantage for him, but it actually is a disadvantage. The bigger size, that's advantage Crawford. Why? Because Spence has got to suck himself dry to get down to the welterweight limit, and he said that after this fight, rematch, he would move up to 154. So right there, that tells you that 147 is no longer his optimal fight weight, and you're going against your greatest opposition in the welterweight division, and you're going against him at a weight that you yourself admit is not your optimal weight. Also, you've noticed over the years that Spence's punching power has gone down. I mean, he hit Ugas with everything except the kitchen sink, couldn't stagger him, couldn't put him down on his butt. Same thing with Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, a smaller man, moving up in weight to challenge him. Spence was teeing off on him, couldn't stagger him, couldn't put him down. So the punching power is just not there. And if you look at the knockout percentages, just look at the last 5 fights, you got to favor Crawford. Crawford was able to drop Kell Brook with a single punch, perfectly timed. Kell Brook was moving in, boom. Crawford split his timing, got his punch there first, and boom, Kell Brook went down. Same thing when he was going against that tough guy, Kavalaskis, beat him down to the ground. Ugas fight with Spence, I mean, the doctor stopped that fight because the guy had a swollen eye, which is a crazy reason to stop a fight, but whatever. So, I mean, that was a TKO win for him, but it's not like you put him down and whatever, and the guy was counted out. So punching power, shockingly enough, favors Crawford. Spence walking around at probably somewhere between 160 to 170, right? So he's got to get down to 147. Now, unless you're losing fat, you're depleting yourself because you're taking off muscle. So his trainer says, hey, it's no problem because he's got a dietitian or nutritionist and whatever. Okay, so he's got a nutritionist, so that makes getting down to the target weight easier, but it still doesn't mean that he's not depleting himself because he has to lose muscle to make that weight. And that's probably why, his punching power has declined. And that could prove, to be very bad for him today. He's still an offensive, punching machine, but he's not having the same type of effect on him. Hand speed, I favor Crawford with hand speed. Foot speed, I favor Crawford. He's faster on his feet. He's got some very good educated footwork. Spence really doesn't rely on his footwork all that much, although he did show that he's capable of doing it when he fought Mikey Garcia. Fought a very smart fight against Mikey Garcia, and in my opinion, fought a very dumb fight against Sean Porter and took a lot of unnecessary punishment by fighting that one-dimensional style. It's a stereotypical Mexican style. Of course, there's exceptions, but it's stereotypical, Mexican style. If he does that tonight, and just that alone, I think he's in trouble. All right, next category, defense. Defense, I favor Spence. I think Spence has better defense. Crawford has been hit and wobbled in several of his previous fights, whatever. So the thing is, Errol lands a solid shot. He can hurt Terrence Crawford, but to me, it's like Spence. Although he throws a lot of punches, his efficiency with those punches is not that high. It's kind of low. The punches are not that precise. I see Crawford as the more precise puncher. Now in the corner, I think Spence has the better corner with Derek James, and Spence definitely, probably had the better sparring. I don't know if I'm assuming that Charlo got in and mixed it up with him. They got Erislandy Lara over there. Ryan Garcia, might have got in and gave him a little bit of work as well. So, just in the corner, I see Derek James giving much better advice. I think this fight is going to come down to game plan. Who's got the best strategy and who's able to execute that strategy? Who's able to execute that game plan? Some of the things that Errol has got to watch out for is Crawford attacking the body. Everyone saw in the Ugas fight that Spence does not like it to the body. He got doubled over a couple of times in that Ugas fight. There's no doubt, Terrence, being a hunter killer, picked up on that, and he's going to be looking to rock Errol's world by going to the body. By the same token, Terrence has got to use his legs, not to be running all night, not to be fighting defensively, but to go in and out, which he's very good at doing, in and out, stepping over, stepping to the side, a lateral movement, and from time to time mixing it up. My fear for Crawford is, because of his mindset, is he's going to, at some point, throw the game plan out the window and fight Errol. He's known for avalanche of offense, which has broken, more than one fighter in the past. And I see Crawford, settling down at some point and letting Spence know, I'm going to beat you at your own game. If that's a window of opportunity for Spence, that's very dangerous for Crawford. But it's a hell of a strategy, because if it works, if he starts getting the best of Spence in Spence's own game, psychologically, that's just devastating to Spence, and he'll be out of there. So I understand why Crawford is the betting favorite, but for no reasons that I probably can't articulate very well, I'm still picking Spence to win the fight by decision. I don't see Spence knocking Crawford out. If there was to be a knockout, then I would have to favor Crawford knocking out Spence. But my official pick is Spence by decision. I definitely don't see Spence winning by knockout. I mean, he couldn't knock out Sean Porter. He couldn't knock out Danny Garcia. He couldn't knock out Mikey Garcia. He couldn't knock out Ugas. So there's no reason for me to think that he can be able to knock out Crawford, who's better than all the aforementioned fighters. Crawford could win by decision, or Crawford, could win by knockout. But officially, yeah, maybe for no good reason other than I want Spence to win. I'm picking Spence to win. That offensive onslaught might prove to be too much for Crawford. Or then again, it might be just the style that he needs in order to showcase his skills as a matador, right? Now, I just want to say one thing about the weight. Crawford is a legitimate welterweight at this point. When he first entered the division, he wasn't afraid of anybody, but he wanted to give himself time to grow into the weight, and that's why he chose the easy path, going after a nondescript fighter like Jeff Horn to win the meaningless title that he now holds. So, but at this point, yeah, he's a legitimate welterweight, and all this talk about the size and the bigger man and stuff, it will have no bearing at all on the fight tonight.